Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So this is what we're doing. We're going to spectate a team that is actually a Pred team from the looks of it. We have one that has a Pred badge here, and then one that says literally "Spectate me, I cheat." Now I want to see if that is actually true. I understand, I'm going to give as many tips and as we spectate these teams and how they play. And essentially the premise of the video is, yes, we spectated a Pred team. Essentially this is a Pred team. Now what I did is I dropped in, I didn't drop in the best way possible. I tried to pivot away and I just got unlucky from where I pivoted that another team essentially landed on us. And then it actually happened to where we spectated a Pred team. So now the reason why this is happening is that based on your MMR, you may experience watching a really high team versus not. Now, one thing you'll notice that a team like this is doing is that they're not necessarily hot dropping. Now, I made this a snake FYI to drop here, and I tried to pivot over here, and then the team got scared instead of landing on them, and they landed on top of us. So essentially, by playing more safe is where you're going to save your time. I assume, based on everybody watching, that you work, go to school, and you come home, and then you run into the problem where you're trying to balance work, life, and just trying to have fun, right? And then whenever you're playing ranked, it's supposed to be fun, but it's really sweaty. So one thing you have to set aside that's a big issue is your ego. Is that a lot of people, based on the MMR, you're going to have to sweat because skill-based matchmaking isn't ranked. This account that I'm playing on is actually in gold, and this is the account that I've been doing on stream for you guys. And you know that I've been running into consistent Pred teams and master squads like you're seeing here on screen, and that they are pretty coordinated in the things that they're doing. So I want you to take the tips of what they are doing and really see how you can work it to your advantage. Now, if you're playing solo, this is hard. I will admit, what I did earlier is I loaded out as Watson, and we'll queue again as Watson, we'll land safe, and we'll showcase how copying their tactics can actually land you in the top 10. Now, if you get a top 10, at least you're breaking even and losing points. If your MMR is high, then you shouldn't really be losing as many points, really, as much as possible. The rank system has changed to the point where you need to play more strategic. And just running out and just doing things aren't going to net you a lot of benefits because you at least always got to get top 10. So you'll notice that even teams that are Pred and Masters, yes, they're running down lobbies, but they're also trying to make sure that their landing spot is going to give them as much of a strategic advantage as possible until they can run at things, right? Because third parties are fast. People are getting smarter. People are getting better at the game. And so that's kind of the whole point of today's episode is respectating these individuals. Notice how they're rotating and where they're rotating to. They didn't rotate into Terraformer, right? They're rotating to find an isolated fight over here. Now we'll see if this person actually is cheating, and if they are, well, that's part of the ranked experience, right? That's what we're experiencing as well. There are a lot of cheaters in the upper echelon as well, which is a bit of a problem. And there's no sugarcoating it. It's very frustrating. So let's see. I feel like this name is a meme. Chaotic much? I mean, look, we're seeing literally pros at this point playing. And then based on what you're seeing, notice how there's only a kill leader with 3 kills so far, right? And there's still 14 squads. Now, granted, as things keep going, notice that when pros and Preds or even smarter players are fighting, that they're being strategic about when they fight. It's not all about just being purely aggressive, right? They're rotating to areas where they can isolate and move around rather than going into Terraformer trying to fight right away. They're trying to isolate and encounter. Oh, wow. He got caught out. That's very unfortunate. So all they can do at this point is heal and reposition. And notice how they're going to try to reset. They're not necessarily like just running out in the open and finding an angle, right? Let's take a look at what... I want to see if Spectate Me, I cheat. He got caught out, so I'm assuming that's a meme name, right? They got to get the hard reset here. Oh man, that's unfortunate. A lot of mishaps with the healing here. Now, if they beam and they shoot, I really think that is just kind of a meme name. But all they're waiting for is a mistake. Now, I was chatting with Lumi recently. The biggest thing you're looking for when you got to play patient and keeps your damage up is waiting for mistakes. Mistakes when somebody over pushes and gets overzealous. I think one of the biggest things that most players do is they assume that, oh, I'm going to be like a content creator streamer, run at everything. But they're not actually running at everything. They're waiting for the opponent to make the mistake. So right now, yes, they got caught out, but if somebody pushes, overextends, or anything like that, then they can cash them out on a mistake, right? Let's take a look here. Now, if one of them just kind of ran out, right now they're getting cracked, and that's considered the quote-unquote mistake, right? Notice how they must be in comms because this person's smart, and they're not using shield healing when the conduit's giving them the shields because they know that those temporary shields can help them out in this encounter rather than wasting time on it, and they're prioritizing flush heals. I don't think this person's actually cheating. I think this person is memeing. Unless they know because I'm randomly spectating them that they're turning it off, but they haven't fought anybody, so there's no reason to. I just happen to randomly be spectating this team instead. Now, you notice how they're backing up as they're waiting for the mistake. Now, if they catch one out, which is right here, this is a good moment right here. And they can knock them. Let's see if they get the knock. One's knocked, but now we have a 2v2 in our hands, right? Now all they got to do is wait for the next mistake. It's 2v2, right? Oh, there's a mistake right now. Now this person has to pretty much clutch up. And it just doesn't happen, right? But they tried many times to back up and look for the mistake. And even then, if they got thirded right now, let's take a look at this team. I mean, they beat a team with a Pred badge, so person who's hit Pred before. Now let's take a look at how this team... It goes to show that even Preds aren't winning all the time, right? Maybe they hit Pred before, or maybe however which way they did it. We can't really make all the assumptions, whether maybe they did it because they were ratting, maybe they did it because they were fighting, maybe they did it because they brute forced the system by just putting the time in, or maybe they were truly skilled. Listen, everyone has a bad game, but we spectated Preds and we see that mistakes are still being made. People get eliminated early. And the reason they rotated here is because they wanted to clear their backs. Because look where the zone is pulling. Now that they clear their backs, they can move in. They didn't run towards Terraformer. They didn't make any of those mistakes. And that playing patient does have a lot of net results, especially if you're playing solo, right? You have to understand that you're not necessarily going to be able to just run down the lobby and just win everything, right? It just doesn't happen that way. And look at it, this also gives us information. They did fight off drop here. And that team decided to rotate over because they knew that they would probably either have won the fight or be isolated in that moment, right? So let's take a look to see how they rotate here and see if they just run into things or if they continue to play patient. All they need is top 10, right? We have a lot of things that slow us down, and this rank system is meant to slow you down. It's a long grind, unfortunately, and this is why I'm making this video. If you're a casual player, somebody who watches on Reddit, all the above, these are the things that you have to pay attention to. It's not necessarily running at teams and running at stuff, is that there's this false sense of information that's being thrown around as if like you have to run at everything, right? Like, they caught this team out, right? Now they got to play patient again. They got to wait and reset, right? Technically, they caught somebody out, and the reason why they're moving forward is not because they're playing aggro, because straight up, they caught somebody out who wasn't even looking at them, right? Information is very important whether you're pushing. Now, if all three of them were looking at them, then they need to be smarter with positioning. But pushing doesn't necessarily mean that you're just running out in the open like a big dummy. It's really making sure you're making informed decisions on when and how you push. I make this mistake a lot. It's hard to set your ego aside and play patiently and look for those opportunities and understand what they look like, right? Well, they happen to win their one, but it is a 3v2, so there's a sense of confidence and they're getting shot in the back, right? So this is a moment where a lot of people also run into the ego problem, is that you need to rotate and get out. Just because you've won this fight, it doesn't mean that you can just keep fighting endlessly. Let's see what this team does if they decide to rotate and get out. Right now, they're shoving through to get rid of the people in front of them, so the team at the back hesitates, and so they buy themselves some time, right? Looks like they did manage to get that. It might be. The numbers don't really add up. Confusing who this is. So they got that knock. This is what I call pushing through, because you know that the team in the back is going to continue to push through, right? If they sit there and stall, stalling can be good if you're running the right comp, but they don't have Acoustic, they don't have a Watson, they don't have a Rampart, and they can't necessarily stall. They need to push through to find a way to get the upper hand in terms of positioning. Now let's see if this pays off for them. Right now they managed to bully one team off, and now they're kind of sitting at a standstill. Now the other team is probably hesitating a lot more, right? Well, I guess not. They technically push, but now they're paused, right? When I say hesitating, they didn't push right away. Now, this is where the ego gets involved, where you technically need to rotate out, otherwise you become the center of attention. You have the team in the front and the team in the back. Let's see if this actually costs them their game, okay? This is where you start essentially gambling and dabbling with numbers, and you don't necessarily know the end result. And here it is. I think this is the unfortunate part. The solution here would be to rotate one way or the other to get out. Your solution is to find a way out so you're not the center of attention, right? You kind of have to be more decisive, and no matter your skill level, this is a big problem that we all have, and it's easier to learn at an earlier stage rather than letting your ego get in the way, right? Because now the only thing they can do is craft banners, and yeah, they're top 10, and they definitely had a lot of eliminations, but there's not much you can do here, right? What was it? Think about the outcome of this scenario. What were they gonna do? I mean, I guess nothing really, because I mean, once you get out, that's kind of, you're kind of stuck. You're stuck in the middle, and now you have to rotate. All you can do in the scenario now is wrap, right? But if they rotate it all together and then start isolating out, the more you stay in a position, unless you have that caustic, or you have those reinforcers in your squad to really hunker down, then it's going to be hard. And notice how once people get also a little antsy, and they don't necessarily truly hold their position, they also start separating out. They didn't look all in the same spot together or decide to go in one area. Now, it is smart. I will say this. It is smart to look at your area to see what information you had. But once you have the information, you have to do something. Also, is that Kano animation actually rare? I made a video on it. Now we actually see it here. I'm questioning whether that's actually a rare animation or not. Risky play crafting the banners here considering all the teams are nearby. But hey, they get the banners, they let them craft, they let them craft. I find it just fascinating, even at the upper echelon of these lobbies, just the mistakes are always a little universal. You'd be surprised that ego gets in the way whether you're a casual player or a pred player. And also it can be hard to synergize as a team whether you're in comms or playing with randoms. I have actually had sometimes random games, and we'll see if we play with randoms in the next one if it nets out well. I technically screwed over my team earlier by landing hot. And I really didn't think it was going to be hot, but, you know, sometimes people make mistakes, and it is what it is, right? I mean, maybe they'll come to this video and be like, Daz, I can't believe you dropped us in such a bad spot. And it's like, sometimes those spots can be good, and sometimes it can be bad, right? Sometimes it's a bit of a RNG in what you deal with. But the reality is you do want to wait in the drop ship and see if you can net out ahead somehow. That would be a lot more ideal and a little bit more lucky. Oh my gosh, he's landing. He doesn't see him. Oh god. Bye-bye, Conduit. It's been fun. Bye-bye. Yeah, that's it. I saw it in the corner of my eye. I don't think they saw it. Let's take a look. What is this team at? What is this team? Master Squad. Looks like they're pretty well coordinated. Oh. They're screwed. That's it. They got the team in front. They got the team behind. I mean, they could. They just got to hold this. One person, I think, went up. I'm surprised that team didn't push through. There's no way unless they're ratting. Wow, are they going to let them have that? Unless they went the other way. Now, this team is kind of stuck here. They're going to have to go the other way. So maybe they knew that it was a lost cause. I assume the other team just kind of figured, like, hey, they're stuck there. But now this team literally needs to have it. Let's see. I don't even think they have an evac. If they have an evac, they might be able to get around. Or they're going to have to go now with heat shields. If they wait now, they're dead. That's kind of it. Now, if they do wait, they'll get themselves more placement. But I don't think you can get over this. I think that's kind of it. I think they're going to have to go around. Really? Okay, this is rough, man. Like, you can't... There's no time to fight that squad. Not at this MMR level. They're just going to have to go around. Like, even if you were to spend the next 30 seconds fighting and the zone closes and that's it. Oh my gosh. That sucks. This team also has to rotate. I think they're trying to wait just to get healthy so they can go over. There they go. All right. Oh god, this is gonna hurt. I don't know if they should make it. Just gotta pray that nobody's there. If there's a team there, that's kind of it. You're screwed. Oh, they're good. They're good. Now this team has to push through. There they go. No, the punch up in the air. Please, there's gonna be more. Oh, that's a good ult. Shoot them! What are you doing? Just shoot them! You don't have time to heal. Oh my gosh. Oh man. That's actually crazy. And now they're dead because of it. The tip here is you got to rotate early, man. This happens to a lot. You got placement, which is fine. But rotations early are important because towards the end game, it's less about whether you can win your fight and more or less are you fighting zone like this. Like, this is an impossible spot to be in. It doesn't matter how good of a player you are. It doesn't matter if you are literally Asu. You're going to lose this scenario. You're going to get shot out and you should have rotated sooner. Now, if you rotate sooner, positioning is so important. Let's take a look. What is this level of team? I'm getting a lot of masters. And we ran into a few preds. I mean, mostly masters and stuff like that. So I think chaotic much, pro players. So we're seeing a little bit of a balance here, right? Now we have the last two teams fighting. This team definitely has the upper hand right now to win. The reason why I say that they have the upper hand to win is because they control a lot of zone. And the other team is closer to them. Where are they? Let's take a look. Yeah, as long as they bully them, and this team has the lowest chance to win. These teams are kind of equal. They can probably be in the building. Now this team probably has the upper hand more so. Unless this team just shoves them. But lowest chance for this team to win. Oh my god, no way. Oh, they're screwed. This team over here is won. There's trades on each side. There's no way they win this. Unless this team over here just sits passive and lets them just reset for free, which oddly is happening. How is that happening? Wow, knocks on both ends and everyone let the reset happen. They are kind of pushing. They weren't very definitive on that decision making. Pretty solid shots across the board here. I am really shocked that everyone let the reset kind of happen here. Everyone kind of reset, which is insane. They reset. I still think they have the lowest probability of the team on the left. Unless these two teams duke it out. Oh my god, yeah, see how they're just right there? Like, oh man. It's a bit of their fault. They have to rotate. If they rotated sooner and kind of, because this team was going this way and they went the other way there, might have been a bit better. But this team still has the lowest probability. Yeah, they're bullying them. They're straight up bullying. There's no way they're able to get that. Oh, what they get hit by? Oh, the Vantage Sniper, okay. A lot of popular comps that you're seeing right now. Horizon's still popular in play. I've been seeing a lot of Catalyst. Conduit is very popular because very much for the squad. Vantage I don't see a whole lot of, so I was kind of surprised to see a Vantage there. You do have your oddballs and what you see as long as the player. Listen, Legend doesn't matter if you want to get to the highest rank. Play what you enjoy. If you enjoy playing it, then you're going to have a net positive. They got to clean this up fast. Oh, that was a good Q to get him out. That was nice. Good use of utility. Good tip there. You can use your Q for offensive and defensive purposes. You can drop the armor on the ground. Nope. Okay. We got a 50-50 here. Depends on who gets a clean crack. Right now, the team on the north has a lower chance because they have to move. And they have the bins here, so they have a better spot to play from. Unless they just land a nasty shot, which is kind of iffy. That does isolate some teams out, but also isolates them. Good use of cat walls on both ends. This does buy themselves some time. Oh, right through the catalyst wall. That's interesting. Now they got the knock. They just got to shove this. As long as one of them doesn't get caught out, they just got to shove it and they're going to win. Yeah, this is 3v2. That's it, man. There's no way they lose this. I would be absolutely shocked if they lost. And I would have to give everybody in the comment section money because I would lose. Luckily, I didn't. So what we're going to do next is that we're going to spawn in. We're going to play... You don't see a whole lot of Watsons, by the way, because Watson or Crypto or even Seer, they're not mobile legends. They're hard to play. Well, Seer's easier to play. But in terms of Watson and Crypto, very difficult to play, very hard to master. What we're going to do is we're going to implement some of these tips now, and unless somebody else gets drop master, then we'll spectate more. We're going to implement some of the tips of playing slower, trying to go to zone. You'll notice I did absolutely nothing there. We dropped hot earlier, and then we got to spectate a pred team. You know, so interesting, right? There's not, you know, if your MMR is higher, you lose less points, so there is the incentive to keep playing. You don't have to worry as much. So keep that in mind. Don't stress. Don't stress too much. Get out there and play, put the time in. The rank system is meant to be long. 67 days, they don't have rank splits, so it is intended to be a really long process, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to jump cut to when we're dropping, because I don't know how long this queue is going to be. I assume it's going to be just a little bit longer. We'll kind of work it from there, okay? Oh, wow, it actually popped. I looked down for 2 seconds. I was about to stop recording and it just pops. Okay, it looks like I got a duo squad. Let's implement some of those things about playing safer, playing smarter, trying to understand where zone is, and then we kind of go from there. I'm glad I didn't stop recording then. I was going to stop and start, and I guess we'll just keep it going. Patience, go to zones. Zone is priority. If you find a fight, make sure that they're isolated. Make sure you're using cover. You get the jump on the opponent. You don't really want to take 50-50s. Not in ranked. You don't want to take 50-50s. You don't want to take 50-50s and fight because you'll get third-partied. You got to have knowledge of where teams are going to be located. Play patient, play strategic, play smart, fight for what's yours. I use a term whenever you're fighting. Fight for what's yours, right? When you're in your home and let's say you're trying to be defensive, you fight for what's yours, right? You don't go to your neighbor's house and fight for their house, right? You stay within your house and what makes sense and fight for what's yours, right? Okay. I will drop us a little safer. Let's take a look here. I'm going to drop us hot. So use a little bit of that knowledge. Is there a beacon over there? Yeah, there is. I'm going to drop over here. This might be a little too safe. But I see them dropping on the right, and I do see a beacon, so I'm going to go hit the beacon. This is the benefit of running a Watson, but then again, you don't have, like, you can't respawn. It makes it hard to want to challenge fights, you know? One team. Okay. Where? Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, I see it. Looks like they're going for it too. I thought those were going to be safe. Okay. Just gotta look where they're landing. Where are my teammates? Yeah, go over there. We really don't want a 50-50, and I thought this was going to be safe, but you know, you land into things that you land into, right? Let's try to get loot. The drop was, to be fair, a little scuffed. I needed to land further back. I just wasn't anticipating people here. But I should always anticipate, right? That'll be smarter. Alright. Hit one pretty hard there. Just isolate one about. We know we cracked one. I'm just gonna stick with the Wraith. Nice. Nice, we move up. Oh gosh, we ran out of ammo. Alright, they're moving in. I'm just gonna go. We can win this. Flush. Oh my god, I wish I had a other gun. That's crazy. A little bit wonky, a little rough, but hey, it worked out. Now we got zone, we can hit the beacon. We created the opening, right? We stuck together. It worked out. That's not bad. I will admit I could have played that better. I wish I had a little more ammo, but hey, we take those, right? Now, the only team that should be nearby is Cultivation, right? We're implementing the tips. Now, it is great whenever you went off drop because you cleared your back and cleared your space. Now, things that would have changed there is I wanted to land close to the door and like the back spot, but I scuffed the landing. I didn't know a team was going to be there. I should have anticipated that. We played well together. We capitalized. We moved up when we needed to. I didn't have the ammo. I hate running EVA 8. I need to practice more with the EVA 8, and I was trying to get right in their face so I can actually capitalize on these things. But yeah, it's kind of a situation that we're kind of in. All right, so the beauty is if we play Atmo Station there, notice how my teammates are pretty smart. They're actually looking to go towards end zone as well. If we get top 10, then we're just going to get our points. And notice that even though I'm playing Watson, you know, I had my fences there for defensive purposes. I could have fenced one of the areas off, so whenever the horizon went double back, I'm going to run R99. Now, the downside of running 2 spray weapons, by the way, is I need to capitalize on more ammo. I don't have a bag right now. I need to get a bag. I'm tempted to switch, to be honest, to a Sentinel. I might just gamble it. I know I can land my shots, so I might just kind of go for it. But right now, it's not looking too good because I don't even have a bag. Hopefully we'll find one. Just one of the things you have to count for. If you run 2 spray weapons, you're going to go through ammo really quick, and if you get to end zone, then you can't poke, and if you're not doing damage, then you're kind of screwed. Now, if you're confident, I'm pretty confident for the most part. I can land my shots and do what I need to. But when you can't, you need to run at least a 30-30, a G7 Scout. Have that range at your disposal. Like, I actually wouldn't mind finding a Peacekeeper. I think a Peacekeeper would be infinitely better than R99 at this point, so I can ensure that I can at least fight close range. Or like a Mastiff, anything that's burst, right? Just for ammo efficiency purposes, I'm going to be honest, I'd rather pick up the Mozam. I know that's crazy, but I'm intending to find a shotgun. And people sleep on the Mozam. It's not as bad as you think. But I definitely need to run something that's going to give me some burst. Just because I know if I mean, listen, if I start spraying with the R99, I'll be out of ammo before I know it. And I can tell because we know zone that we're going to play a little passive. And that's not a bad thing, right? At least Nemesis has a lot of strong damage at his disposal too. Notice how we're implementing the tips that the Pred team did. Technically, Cultivation should have thirded us like the Pred team. But we're in the situation where we're a lot more passive. It looks like they're fighting over there. Keep grabbing more energy. I'm a little further behind. I'm going to go through the building. It's a little bit risky. I'm going to fall a little behind with the team. But I am searching for... A really risky move would have been to pick up that longbow and then run Nemesis as my close range. Which is not necessarily a bad idea. I need a shotgun. I'll see one over there. Okay, just keep moving. Nemesis is great. It is pretty good for close range too. I'm confident I can land my shots and do what I need to do. We rotate. I'm a little late. But we got our damage, we got gold. Here's somebody on the railing. Just gotta keep up with them. This is the downside if you're a legend that has no mobility, that you just gotta keep up with your team, which means that you have to be faster on loot, you have to know where you're dropping. We all make mistakes, they happen, right? I need to loot the box. See if I can find a shotgun or something. Let's stick with the 2x. Oh, there it is. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Eva for now. And then we're chilling. I know it's not good for range, but I would pull out the Nemesis at that point if I was shooting. Balance, balance, balance. All you got to do is find a balance. I have way too many cells. Watson, I'll be able to put Jen. Even though I haven't played a whole lot of Watson, this is like the first time I really played Watson in a hot minute. And then, what are we going to do? Oh my god, paid off. There we go. Okay. This is why I need to stop being late, okay? Gotta take my own advice. But notice how this is changing just by spectating and implementing what they've done. You can learn a lot. Even if you lose a round and just watch for a little bit, you can gain a lot of knowledge. So I'm gonna fence the top part of this. Put Jen in between us. Right around here. And we gotta hold. I think it's gonna pull this way. We'll spec to the end to see where it actually ends up. But hey, we're going up points this round, okay? Unless we get pushed right now, then we may not go up points unless we win that fight. But I guess this is one, we spectated a pred team. We're learning from it. And while we know these things, okay, that team is rotating. That's going to be isolated unless we get shot. If I have time, otherwise I'll cancel it. They're far. I'll hold on to this just in case they try to ult us or something. I saw something. I don't know what I was looking at. Yeah, they're not going to push this way. Most likely not, at least. And you keep fencing the perimeter. How many fences do I have? I think that's it, right? Nobody should really be on the south or else we've already been pushed, which is why I'm kind of fencing just on the right and the other side. Can't remember how many fences I have down. Okay, that's more than enough. All right, we're just holding, we're chilling. This is the what you call the boring but patient part. And if you're watching, this is probably the most important part that you have to watch and be patient for. Now, this works whenever you have like a Watson and you're holding. You don't see a lot of this playstyle anymore. A lot of people just keep pushing and rotating. You ever seen the movie World War Z? That's not the best zombie movie, by the way. I mean, it's a decent film, but it's not the best. You know, hey, listen, I prefer Dawn of the Dead or, you know, any other films. But the point I want to point out is that they say movement is life. Movement is another strategy. So let's say we want to just keep rotating and moving this way and just kind of keep rotating around. I call it now the Anita strat whenever I've been coaching Anita and Crony. It is a strategy where you just keep moving. Now, movement can be really strong because you're constantly looking for information of where other teams are, and then you're clearing out your back. It's a bit more aggro, but it goes in line where movement is life. And when you move around, you create life. It creates lubrication, all that fun stuff, right? Movement is a good thing rather than being stagnant, but also having the strategic side of this, what you're saying, can also be very beneficial as well. All right, so let's see where it's going to pull. I don't have a beacon anywhere over here, so unfortunately I don't know. But because most teams aren't playing like this, you will be surprised just by getting to end zone, the difference that it makes. And right now, everyone's going to get squished in because everyone is trying to move and people can't set aside their ego. It is a working strat. Now, I will encourage you, if you want to learn how to improve in fighting, that you should also play pubs, right? You should be putting in the time into... I'm going to check our backs because that was closing just in case, to be honest. To where it is important that you do account for those things. I don't see anybody. Zone is closing. I know it's super slow. Unless there's just like a rat back here, but I doubt it. Like realistically, when you see a team hunkered down here, they're not going to leave and chase you down over here, which means what the movement is life strat can make a lot more sense because there is never a team that's going to give up this positioning, right? We have a powerful position. So there's different ways to play, and that's why I say there's not necessarily a wrong way to play. It's just acknowledging which way you are going to play as a squad, right? Right now, we kind of acknowledge that we fought early on, and so therefore we can just be patient, and then we're going to get plus RP and SGGs, and then I'll bounce out from the minus 15 that I lost earlier, and that's it, right? Played well, you find your one encounter. There's always in rank probably like 1 or 2 or 3 good fights. Now, if you play patient and you find the right spots, and you need to know in zone which are power plays. Good spot here, good spot here, good spot here, good spot here, or even up here, maybe you get picked on. Why? We have height, we control the area. You know, you control power points. You're not necessarily just sitting open field. There's a lot of good that can come of this. All right, so we need to do play a little bit more patient, wait here, and it is going to net out results. So you're getting a lot of tips. You're kind of seeing in real time. Now, whenever one strat becomes more popular than running around, you have to decipher how the map is playing. Right now, most people, whenever they're running around, if teams died out early and there was only like 3 or 4 teams remaining, this strat doesn't work as well. This strat works whenever teams die out slow. And in the current rank system, teams do die out slow, unfortunately. But it is not as, I guess you could say, invigorating. It doesn't put, you know, the ego out there. You don't get to slap your, you know what, on the table, and you just have to play more patient. See, it's pulling where we think. We just play patient. Top 10, get more positioning. It's GG's. That's what you do from here. So what can you do while thinking here? Well, having friends hanging out is really important. Another thing that people don't do is constantly look in different angles. Some people just get complacent and they'll just sit here and then they'll just go AFK, staying out in the open like this. They'll be like, okay, well, nobody's going to push us. And they're like, no. Like, listen, just keep looking around, right? Keep looking where you believe opponents could be, right? We've been doing that the whole time. We've been constantly looking around, assessing. I've been checking our backs, checking our corner. It's not as entertaining, but listen, to be defensive and to be offensive, if we saw a team over here, what is the most realistic thing that we need to do? Get them out. In this scenario, if nobody is looking in the front and you communicate with your squad, hey, look, we're in a pred lobby. Wow, with only 6 kills. Okay, that's not bad. They got streamer mode on and with 21,000 eliminations. All right. So it goes to show the type of lobby we're in. We're not playing necessarily just small teams. It's definitely a lot of Preds, a lot of Masters, man. A lot of people are sweating. There we go. There's one team all the way over there. I'm surprised nobody's held these buildings yet. If you got a lot of ammo, remember you don't really want to end the round. At this point when you're holding, showcase presence. Just start shooting. And this is why I said I need a lot of ammo and why I didn't want to have the R99 in case, let's say I burn through all my Nemesis ammo. You know, I don't necessarily want to have to worry about just having like 2 mags, you know what I mean? I need to level up my armor, so I'm taking little pop shots, right? We're also letting him know that we're here, right? I think that was one of the teams from earlier. Tempted to get that care package. Ooh, not bad, not bad. Did a little bit there, not a lot. Let's take a look at our backs. Oh yeah, we have Jen. Almost forgot about that. So used to playing Conduit. It's so weird having a... That guy's almost cracked. A little bit more. I'm gonna try to go for care pack real quick. Cover me. This might be dumb. I mean, Wraith should go for it technically, but hey, at least I'm letting him know what I'm doing. I got a gun. I dropped my gun is what I meant to say. What if we get a Kraber? They technically didn't look at it. Ooh, oh my god, a bow check, but let's go. And then we can take a look. I'm gonna look for a second, got a bow check out of it. I'll come back. I can't stay long though. Timing that port, this is a good port though. Okay, I'm going back. Good idea. Wraith, I'm gonna give you my purple here. Grab purple, grab purple. On me. I'll passive heal this. I'm fine. Now the reason I did that is the Wraith is entry, and I assume that she's gonna want to keep playing entry, and I can level up and have a bow check, right? I have range. Okay, okay, alright. Respectable, respectable. Well, they should be shot in the back here soon. I'm surprised, like, is everyone just going to get stuck here? I'm kind of confused what's going to happen. Alright, let's put another gen in now. Shot. Correct. Not bad shots. They should get pushed in the back. See how we're all using head glitches? Even at a low ground, they're not necessarily at a massive disadvantage. This team is pretty smart. They know what they're doing. 70. Yeah, they're gonna get pushed in the back. I figured it would happen. Nice. Oh, we have 2 bows? Oh my god, I didn't even realize we had 2 bows. Top 5. Underneath. Gonna have to just let them coexist. Can't drop. No! I got greedy. I know, but I really wanted the kill. Conduit's like 1 HP. That's annoying. This is where you save resource. Notice we haven't wasted a whole lot of resources. They're coming up. That's unfortunate.
If the fence gets crossed.
That's not good. Oh gosh, I'm dead. Oh, you got top 5. We'll watch the rest of this. Our guy may clutch it out. I'm surprised they didn't get punished for living underneath either. They did shove it. They claimed what they wanted, right? I respect the push. Oh, it's a pro team. That makes sense. Chaotic. Look at that. Let's take a look how they finish this off. They were well coordinated. They knew what they wanted, right? Now this is where you see a team that does run down the lobby. Their strat is clearing what they want, right? And I respect that strat a lot. This is better to do whenever you're in a squad of 3. Much easier to do. And it's much harder. Now, the beauty is that we still won out points, right? We still got our kills. We technically did what we needed to do. And the only thing we need to do is probably just win that encounter, right? I guarantee the remaining teams is probably one full squad and probably just a rat or somebody healing outside his zone. But we saw this team last round as well. And technically we get to still spectate some Preds. Trying to punch them off. That's funny. But they have this. Now, that strat of movement is life is the opposite one that can work. Could we have won this? Sure. Now, the beauty of when you do the movement is life strat, right? The Anita strat is where you're running around, is that you're going to level up your armors and you can control more of the area, right? The downside is that if you're not pushing for zone, then you're going to get bullied off at some point. And they got this. They got to watch out, though. Ooh, that zone hurts. And it can go that way. But they got this. This is pretty easy. At this point, they control the lobby. If nobody pushed them or held them out, that's it, right? It's probably why they also pushed us, is that they were dealing with that other team and we helped them clean it up, and they moved up and was like, that's free real estate. I mean, I don't blame them, right? There's the rat, and all they got to do is look for the last one, and that's pretty much it. Guys, I hope this was helpful. You get to see 2 sides of the spectrum. It's not easy to do this strat where you're moving around, but there is ways to counter it, and there are things to kind of win for. Yeah, that's just another round. That's why they didn't get punished when they're moving up, because otherwise that would never have happened. If this was another full team, they would have slowed them down, and they may not have pushed. But you can kind of tell in the lobby, I'm like, I don't even know where the other teams are at, which makes sense why they pushed it. And our armors weren't necessarily great either, right? But guys, hopefully you guys found this informative. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye, everybody.